Hey guys, Aquatic Bobs. Tonight's video, I'm actually going to show you guys me feeding quick, and then we'll come back in about an hour after I've had all the pumps off and the coral and fish have had some time to eat. So actually I leave the wave makers going, but I shut the return pump off so that all the food will just kind of cycle in the tank and corals actually have an opportunity to grab it and eat it. Right now I'm feeding a mixture of, I got Reefroids in here, I've got Acropower amino acids, I've got tank water, and I've got Marine Cuisine frozen fish food, which is like a combination of a few different things. Yeah, all mixed in there. It's all thawed out already, so just gonna give it a little swirl, dump in just a little at a time. I really want to feed Coral Nutrition AB Plus, or Reef Nutrition, whatever it's called, the stuff that turns your water green. I tried one bottle of it a while back, and I think it made a difference. But I kind of like that it made the water green. You're supposed to shut your skimmer off, so but anyways, I do shut my skimmer off right now too, and then like I said, I shut the return pumps off, so you can see the water levels a little bit lower there. But I do leave the wave makers going so it continues to cycle through the tank. But let's go ahead and add a little more here. I also want to talk, the big thing I want to talk about tonight in the tank is a big change that I just made that I seriously within 10 minutes noticed results. I'm not even kidding. If you're one of those people out there that loves seeing quick results, make sure you stick around for this video. I'm not going to give it away yet, but I seriously noticed results within 10 minutes. Not color-wise, but polyp extension-wise. I'm going to let you guys know what it is. It's safe and it's healthy. It's actually good for the tank. Some of you might have already guessed. But I'm going to go ahead and finish feeding up the rest of what I got here. I'll be back in probably about 45 minutes to an hour after the tank's had a chance to clear up and everything's been able to eat, and I'll see you then. Okay, yeah, I know the water's still pretty murky. I've had the return pump back on for about 20 minutes now, and that food is still kind of suspended. Did put a lot of Reefroids in. So if you guys have been following my last few videos, a couple weeks ago I came home from vacation and my tank had bottomed out on nutrients, and I think I was already running it really low. I hadn't been testing much, and you always have those moments where you think like you're overfeeding and you think that your tank is like too high in nutrients, and you see a couple little things that like make your mind think like, oh, I've got to slow down on feeding, I've got to do more water changes, I got to run more GFO, I got to get rid of nitrates and phosphates. But it was actually the opposite for me. I started seeing a little bit of cyano, and it was because my tank had no nutrients. And so I started dosing nitrates and phosphates, Brightwell Aquatics, Neo-Nitro and Neo-Phos. Started feeding heavier, added a few more fish. Here's one of them right here. Sailfin Tang. Then I added 4 chromies, just green chromies. And like I said, yeah, I started feeding heavier every day, amino acids, pellets, and frozen food, and every other day, Reefroids. And it's helped. Like, so the cyano started to get so thick that literally you could not see any of the sand bed around the corals, especially in the middle of the day when all the lights were full blast. But now you can see these patches that it's breaking up, and even the thicker spots are breaking up. It did take a heavy toll on some of the corals. Very sadly, a few of them they're fighting to grow back over some of their dead skeleton. But yeah, it's pretty sad. A lot of these though, over the last week, I've started noticing colors that I hadn't really ever noticed or seen before. And I think that's because I've elevated my nutrients so much that the zooxanthella is starting to repopulate more densely in the coral skeleton and on the edges, or on the skeleton of the coral, and it's really just starting to look beautiful. I'm going to shut the pumps off in a second, but the part of the video I really wanted to touch on, which I mentioned earlier, is how I got polyp extension within 10 minutes. Noticeable polyp extension, literally within 10 minutes on about 50% of my corals, mostly acropora, even a little bit, well, he's all closed up right now because my hawkfish comes and sits on him every 5 freaking minutes. But yeah, it it was so cool because I turned up my power head. So I repositioned my power heads. The one all the way on the right in the far back corner was on the back wall, right in the middle of the screen where you can see where the puck was. And then this one, the wide-angled wave maker was right there. And so I moved them both over here, angled one down, one up a little bit, and then the one closest to us kind of just blasting in the middle. And everything is really moving a lot. In fact, those guys, I might have to figure out something with the torches, because every once in a while they just get shook. Yeah, like that one. He can't even stand up. But everything is still open and responding well. That was, and then some corals. So like this one, you can see. I used to not be able to see these polyps. A week ago, the polyps at the base of this colony were barely visible, like they were barely coming out. Within 10 minutes of turning up the flow, it looks like a freaking rug outside on a windy day, like a long, hairy rug on a windy day. Some of these corals, like this one, you can just see the polyps out waving and blowing around everywhere. On the circus freak here, you can see them out. Well, a little bit. So, weird thing, usually after I feed, they kind of suck in. Maybe some of you guys have noticed this too with your tanks. That's the voodoo magic. Look at the colors that are starting. If you look at my videos from like a month and a half ago, this was like pale. Looked like the coral back in the middle. That's a Miss Piggy from Top Shelf Aquatics, also starting to color up. Here's the haymaker. But yeah, usually when I feed, for a couple hours after I feed, a lot of the polyps don't come out as far, so this wasn't really maybe the best time, but I'm still seeing the polyps are out further than they were before, even after just feeding. So it's pretty cool. I got so excited. I was telling my wife about it, and I told my dad about it today, and look at that, just thick polyps, and it's so beautiful when the polyps are way out and they're blowing around everywhere, and it exposes parts of the corals that are usually covered by them for a second, waves back and forth. This Walt Disney isn't really blowing that hard. So it's the coral that's right in the middle of the tank. So you got water coming from this way and this way, and it kind of almost like it cancels it out right in the middle. Might have to figure something out for that. It still is getting a decent amount of flow. I'm not disappointed with it, and it's still got pretty decent polyp extension, but I'm curious to see what would happen if I'm able to really get some flow in there and just really whoosh through this Walt Disney tenuous. I have a feeling it would really help bring out some more of that polyp extension. Here's the cherry bomb down here. You can see that's blowing around pretty well. The green coming back in the base of the coral, the purple, kind of cherry colored polyps. Yeah, it's just really beautiful. I'm just very, very excited about. It's like I've been reefing for a long time, and I've always known that flow is kind of like the backbone of the tank. And And the more flow that you have, you'd think the healthier and happier the corals would be, as long as it's alternating flow. If something's just getting pounded from one side all the time, we know that corals don't like that, especially torches and hammers and Euphyllia, LPS corals. But if it's alternating flow from alternating sides and mixed up and everything, a lot of flow, especially SPS corals, they just love it. And I don't know why I haven't responded to this sooner. So I guess this is kind of just a reminder of the importance of flow and the power that it has in our tanks. Stay tuned. I'm gonna keep doing videos on the color and the nutrients too. So I got my nitrates up to right around 10 parts per million right now, 10 ppm, and my phosphates have been at a solid 0.07 to 0.08. And I'm telling you, like 2 weeks of dosing nitrates and phosphates, these corals went from literally just pale colored to they have some ridiculous colors. So I'm gonna shut the pumps off, then I'm gonna do a top-down view of the tank quick, and then we'll call it a video. I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. Make sure my phone's up and down. So there's the Voodoo Magic right in the center of the screen there. The surface of the water is still moving. The chromies are trying to eat bubbles. There's the beautiful Walt Disney Acropora. That thing is just ecstatic. Can't even believe it. Circus Freak. Again, these colors were completely missing from the coral a couple weeks ago. 2 weeks. Went from pale and nothing to that. Here's our haymaker. That thing's looking pretty good. I believe this one back here is a Flintstone Acropora. And this one, I have no idea. Oh, this was one I got for $5 at local fish store. Well, it's not that local. It's about 2 hours away. Reef Collective in Minneapolis, Minnesota. $5 frag. Wound up being one of the coolest acros I have in the tank. Here's Top Shelf Aquatics, the Fuzz. Right above it's a Fruity Pebbles. That one's still got a little ways to go. Can't remember the name of that one. Kind of a weird name from Top Shelf Aquatics. Oh yeah, here's one that I've been getting asked a lot about lately. It's the Bubble Yum from Top Shelf Aquatics. It's definitely getting there. Definitely getting there. I had a guy reach out to me and ask for a frag of it. This is the Jesus Acropora. There's a Millie with Potential is the way that it was sold from Unique Corals. There's the infamous Rainbow Millie. Yeah. Zenith Acro. Just beautiful though, everything. Just super beautiful. So, oh yeah, and then this one, the guy that sold it on eBay said it was a home wrecker, but I don't see the home wrecker in it. I think I paid like $125 for it. Very beautiful coral, all green, but definitely don't see the home wrecker part of it. So, anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Isn't that amazing? Look at that from the front. This is the Circus Freak. Again, $1,000 coral for a frag. That's the front. And then here's the top down. That's crazy. I'm so excited about these colors. I'm seriously so excited. 2 freaking weeks. All right, guys, that's gonna have to do it. I could stare at corals all night. I know a lot of you guys get beautiful tanks too. If you do, share what your favorite coral is in the comments below. Maybe what your favorite coral is from my tank. Which one you're most excited to see grow out. And as always, if you have any future video recommendations or suggestions, let me know. I know a lot of people ask, what do I feed? What do I dose? A lot of the common questions. What are my nitrates, phosphates, everything? I usually share that information pretty much in 1 out of every 3 to 4 videos. So subscribe to the channel, stay connected, stay tuned, and keep watching. And yeah, I look forward to hearing from some of you guys. And as always, I'm super thankful, super much appreciate all you guys for watching the videos. Even if you haven't subscribed, I'm so thankful for this opportunity. And I'm grateful to be reminded of what a blessing it is, what an honor it is to have this in my living room. And the big tank up at my dad's house, it's got some green starting in there. Cool. This one's got some red. Those are jawbreakers. But yeah, the tank's up at my dad's house. We're getting close to setting up the 200 gallon, and we did just set up the frag tank. All we got to do is put the lights above it. And then put the frag racks in, and it's ready to go. We plumbed it into the 300 gallons, so the water's already going to be cured. The thought is in the future is to start cutting frags out of the 300 gallon and then just move them to the frag tank. So the water will be the same. The lighting will be slightly different, but yeah, I'll do a video on that probably next. I'm going to be up there tomorrow night for my birthday, so look forward to seeing you guys soon. And well, by the time I get this video out, might be past my birthday, but yeah, love you guys. Appreciate it. This Aquatic Bob's out.